Alright, so it's a new day and a new video. So yesterday I had a few hours spare, so I started pulling apart the VS Commodore. So all of these bits I'll try and sell or give away or whatever. I need these for the VN. I got the bonnet off. Now I just need to get the guards and the front bumper off, but they're a pain in the bum, so I'm going to have to weld some nuts onto these to get them undone. That's alright. I took the smashed rear window out, side window. Got all the carpet out, got all the door cards off, got a lot of the dashboard out, and the whole thing is pretty much stripped. So I took out that window over there, which wasn't smashed, and the tailgate as well. So it's all coming together, or coming apart. So I want the rear bumper off of it as well, and then the front guards, the bumper and the bonnet, and then I need the diff and the springs for the VN. So finally got the guards, the bumper and the bonnet off. So I ended up having to weld a bolt to each of the guard bolts because they're a Phillips head and a flathead screw, and I couldn't get them undone, so I had to weld a nut or a bolt to them and then use that to undo the bolts. So I got all that undone, got the guard liners out, the front bumper off, the headlights, the indicators out. So that's the front end done. So I'm just going to put the wheels back on and I don't have to touch anything on the front. So then the back, I've just got the rear bumper to come off, and then the diff to go into the VN and the springs to go into the VN. So I've been really slack with the filming today. It was one of those jobs that I really didn't want to do. So got the diff all unbolted, just got the tail shaft to take off, which I'm struggling with, so I'm going to leave that for now. So you saw me take the axles out, so what I did is took the disc brake and the handbrake setup off. So this diff is a Borg Warner, which is the same as a R31 Skyline, which happens to be the diff that I have in my K10 Corolla. So I need a handbrake setup, and there was one on this diff. So this whole diff's going to go into the VS, which is going to be the paddock basher, and it's going to have no rear brakes, which is fine. So now, do the exact same job on this, but I'm going to start with the tail shaft like I should have before, and then pull the rest out, then try and put this rear end into the VN. Alright, I finally have one of the diffs out. So this is out of the VS, it's all ready to go back into the VN. I've just got the tail shaft bolts left on the VN, so I have to get under there and have a go at that again in a minute. Alright, so I finally got this diff out and the other diff out. So I've actually swapped them over already, so that's the VN diff, that's the VS diff. I'm going to put this one back in first because there's less parts, so there's no brakes on this one. So I'm going to start putting it all back together. The VS is finally back together, so I'm going to take the rear bumper off still, and I did cut the back brake line, so I'm going to have to try and block that off somehow so that the pressure doesn't all go out the back. Also have to put some seats in it, which I forgot about. So seats, rear bumper, fix the brake line, and it's good to go. Ready to bush bash. And Tim gave me some spotlights yesterday, so we might make some spotlights happen at some point. But that's it. So now I'm going to get back over to the VN and do the whole same job again. Alright, let's get stuck back into this VN. So I got the diff out of the VS on the floor there. Just got to slide it underneath and get everything bolted up again, and then put all the brakes back on it, and this one will be done. Alright, so I had to play with the VS this morning. Just quickly took the rear brake line off and welded the nut shut and put it back together, so that it still has a little bit of brake line in there so that it seals properly, and it's obviously not going to come out the back of the weld. I've just thrown a seat in there, it's not bolted in, so I have to bolt that in and bolt the other one in. And then we've got the rear bar off, all the tailgate and everything. And I ended up taking the back muffler off because it was pretty much exploded anyway. So that's gone, and it all runs and drives. I just took it for a quick little test spin in the backyard and pushed the K30 out the way. So this is pretty much ready to go now. How many bush bashers do you know that have got an aircon? Brisk. So Dale said he's got a spare bolt, which I stripped on the back of this yesterday, and a little rubber bit that I lost as well for the sway bar end link. So I'll grab those this afternoon, and then this one will be done as well. And then I can finally clean up, because this is horrible. I'm so sick of it. Alright, so Dale came through yesterday and got me the last bolt that I need to put this back together. So it's just this top bolt here on the top arm. So I'll just put that back in, put the wheel on, and this VN is finally done mechanically. So a little bit more stuff to do with the interior, which is just putting some plastics back on, but that's pretty much it for now. So that's excellent, because I'm so sick of working on this thing. Not a huge fan of how they put this together. I'd much rather stick to my Toyotas. And that's it, back to stock. Thank goodness for that. So I did remember that I needed to do an exhaust quietener or silencer at some point before the ID inspection and give this a big go old clean. But other than that, that's all I'm going to do for now. And a bit more interior stuff that I mentioned earlier. So that's it for the VN on this episode. Let's see what else we got. I've bought more garbage. Who would have thought? So we just got these dropped off. We've got a late model K55, so it's a really late one. It's got the long bumpers and the late model tail lights. So I'm not sure what parts come with this, but I had a look yesterday and there's a lot of bits with it. So I also got this gearbox, a few boxes of parts and a boot with it. There's also another gearbox in the back of this car. And there's also an engine and an auto trans still at the guy's house, and another box of parts that I have to go and get. So this one is an early model K30. So it's got the good bumpers and the good tail lights, and it's got the one-piece dash, which I know Aaron loves. So if you're watching, Aaron, I'll keep your parts aside. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these, but this one's actually a lot better than I thought it was. So this one can probably go back on the road, to be perfectly honest. Other than the front guards, they're both a bit tatty, but that car has guards, so maybe I'll put those guards on here and make this into a car again. But it doesn't have an engine or a gearbox in it at the moment, so there'd be a lot of work to do that. But good thing I have two there, one here, one there, one over there, spare engine, spare gearbox, and then the stuff that came with these cars as well. So I got plenty of spares. So there we go. Alright, so I've cleaned up out the back a bit. It's a bit better than it was. So I've got the VN out there, ready to go out the front and get inspected. I got the VS just back there. And then we got the blue Commodore, which I've decided I'm going to part this one and try and save that one. So then we got the red K30, which is going to scrap, and then the K20 up the back there with all the parts. I'm still trying to sell those. So I'm just going to get started on parting this out and make a mess again. And then once I borrow a trailer, I can take this to scrap and take the red one to scrap at the same time. So let's get stuck into it. Alright, let's go get the K70. Start her up. Where's the K70? Oh, that's right. I swapped it for a Commodore. Woohoo! So finally I can do my scrap runs and my dump runs. And then I'll sell this thing later. So we've got a VZ sedan. It's a V6. It's got 210,000 Ks and it's auto. And it's pretty tidy. And it's got quite dark tint. Good swap, I think. And the owner that I swapped the K70 to has already swapped it for his old Corona. So that's not coming back. And then the new owner that got the K70 has lowered it and put different wheels on it. So that's not coming back. So this is what I'm stuck with.